Hello and welcome to our reflections on Tuesday. I have been much exercised about the situation in Ukraine, as we all have, emotionally, spiritually. Yesterday, President Zelensky, who I've got a lot of time for, talked about never being able to forgive or forget the murders of Ukrainian citizens by the Russian military, and I understand that. I do understand that. Contrast that with the video that you may well have seen before of the Christians singing before the invasion really came close to Kiev. I've tried to attach it at the bottom of this Facebook posting, and it's just 25 seconds of them singing in the underground station while people are scurrying around, singing songs about forgiveness. Powerful stuff. I don't know what I would be able to do. I just don't know whether I would be able to forgive. I've never been in a position where anybody has so brutally turned my life upside down. Some of you may well have had such awful experiences in different ways, having to find the possibility of forgiveness so hard. So I'm speaking from, I suppose, a lack of experience of what it means to give costly forgiveness. The stuff that I've had to do has been easy. It hasn't really cost me very much at all. Bear in mind then what Jesus says in our reading for today. It's Matthew 9, and it's where a group of friends bring a paralysed man on a bed to Jesus. For some reason, in Matthew, we don't get the account of the friends having to break through the roof like we have in Mark and Luke's version of this story. They just are said to bring the man to Jesus. And Jesus doesn't quiz them in any way about why they have come, about the man's situation, or indeed the four friends' situation, if four of them there were. He says to the man who's lying on the bed, "Take heart, I have seen their faith, and your sins are forgiven." I find that a very interesting dynamic. There's no questions, there's no background that's needed, there's no quizzing about whether the man had sinned grievously or just a little bit or anything else. But because of their faith, your sins are forgiven. Nothing that the man had to do except be prepared to be brought before Jesus by his friends. But then Jesus says, "Take heart, your sins are forgiven. Stand up, take hold of your bed, and go home." Strong words of encouragement, but also to say, there's stuff to be done now. You can't ignore what's happened. Go back. Tell people, in other words. He doesn't say that, but tell people what's happened. We don't hear any more about these friends. But what an amazing thing for them to do. We've got a curious part of this story, that Jesus seems first of all to address what might be spiritually wrong. He addresses the issue of sin and forgiveness. But then, having done that, he also does something to make the man physically healed. It's a sort of two-stage thing. I think it's important, probably, that those two things are recognised as being important constituents of what it might mean for us to be whole. But I want instead to concentrate just for a few seconds more on the idea of those four friends coming together to help their mate. I've used the district's phrase rebuilding momentum together to indicate what I think is what we're about. And I've tried to emphasise whenever we have addressed that particular strapline that it's important that we do it together, that we're not doing it off our own bat as individuals, we're doing it together. And this reading may really play into that, because the man on the bed couldn't do very much. Others had to do it for him. I wonder if today you might think who you could bring to Jesus. May God bless you and all your friends who may, through us, each one of us, encounter Jesus today.